We just flew a staircase through the roof of one of the most unique timber frames we've ever built. And this gorgeous 30 by 40 barn will eventually become a workshop and half basketball court. In this video, we'll be showing you how we installed the many unique features, including a retractable pulley system, glulam mechanical staircase, king post trusses, and an inverted brace detail. As always, it all starts with the design and cutting of the frame back in our shop in Woolwich, Maine. After we arrive at a design that the customer loves, the designer for the project creates a set of cut sheet drawings, which are drawings of all of the unique timbers in the building that allows accurate manufacturing back here in the shop.
So the setup basically is whatever timber we're working on goes into this corner, the people who are working on it go into that corner, and they bring any of the tools that they need into that corner. A lot of woodworking shops have like very lined up stations. In fact, their tools are bolted to the floor most of the time. Everything in here is the opposite. Everything is on wheels. Some of the shelves are even on wheels because the shop is just constantly changing shape. There's really no way that you could just decide, okay, this is the post corner, because what's a post? Sometimes we're cutting a 6-foot post, sometimes we're cutting a 30-foot post. So it just has to be able to move. Everything was laid out and then double checked. As much of the work that could be done with machines has been done, and now they're essentially just chiseling and refining with slicks. And after that, we will run the surface planer over them just to clean them, maybe route some corners. And then the goal is basically to, as quickly as possible, get them waxed and oiled so that they don't start drying too fast. And also so we can put them on a truck and take them to Northport.
The piece of land that we're building on is very unique. This is a spit of land that gets narrower and narrower as you go toward the end, and there's an access road that sort of runs down the middle. Trees are precious down here, so it is a very tight site. The fewest possible number of trees were cut. Leaves us just enough space out on the gable end of the building to stage material, do the work that we need to do to raise the building. Our objective today is to assemble all of the bents and all of the trusses.
Started? All right, looks good here. Looks good here.
You're the best. You are the best.
To avoid gaps opening up as the wood dries, what we like to do is get the joinery fitted up so that we actually have compression of the side grain element. When we have that level of compression, we will drill and peg the joint, and the peg holds the pre-compression in place so that as the moisture leaves and the cells actually start to shrink, the joint stays tight visibly, and that is our objective. No one likes to see loose joinery 2 years after the timber frame has been put together.
Are you looking for a job?
Maybe. My wife's family sort of been up here since the mid-60s, and I'm kind of a tool geek and cabinet maker, furniture maker and stuff. That's part of what's going in here. We thought as we approached retirement age, it'd really be nice to have a little bit more space, and our kids are now in their 20s. So we had this idea that we could build a beautiful structure with a wood shop in it and, you know, some storage space and some rec space, and so that's kind of where the idea came from. We connected up with Shelter, I think it was about 1.5 years ago. We sat down with Zach and Gaius and Ethan and sort of started to look at what the options were. It's green because it's well insulated, but it's also green because it's built to last really forever. It has nice light in it and smells like the woods, you know, so that's kind of what we're attracted to.
Yeah. Still got it.
That's full size.
This is a great example of just-in-time site readiness. The slab inside the stem wall was literally poured yesterday. We're not going to do any raising today. We're going to let that slab cure up over the weekend. So when we come back Monday, we'll start standing everything. The slab at that point will have cured enough that it can take those small point loads of just the timber frame. So we're on day 2 of the Southport build. Last Friday, we built all of the bents and assembled the trusses. So first thing this morning, we get to start raising the timber frame. So why don't we pull in tight? We'll have a little combo. All right, so these bents are gonna be awkward because there's so much post above the tie beam. They're gonna wanna be, you know, flopping, but if I can get help getting them airborne, that would be great.
I'm quite out of place here.
Which way do you need to go?
Just up. Yeah. I'm just gonna hit it over.
So can I get someone with a driver and 4-inch lags so we can set those braces?
In closer. Right way or wrong?
Hold that. That's good. Hold it. Back the other way. Good.
We obviously want to go fast, but going slow enough to make sure we don't have to take something back out and put it back in. Is that something that we've been doing once or twice on every job?
Too much for us.
0 times. Anything you put your hand on, make sure you know that it goes there and why.
All right, here we go. Can you give us a hand, Jesse, to get this airborne? You just want to support the post so that it doesn't fall off the pile or scrape the beam underneath. Sorry, was that one more of a struggle?
I like when you go right up, you know? Is this supposed to go on the concrete?
Yes. Let's drop some joists in, get some weight on it.
I'm started.
You gotta push, there we go.
Typically, once we have the bent standing up, we try to drop in 1 or 2 dovetail joists because they don't require any fasteners. The dovetails just actively hold the bents together.
I'm in.
You good? Yeah.
So once those are in, we typically work toward one side. We leave the last 2 dovetails out before we do the rim joist. So by leaving the 2 dovetail joists out, it lets the bent flex a little bit. So it flexes out so we can get the tenons of the rim joist in.
Coming down.
All right, let me hand you a brace. This one's especially difficult because we have another set of braces on the top side of the joist. So I want to just make sure that we can push the bents apart enough to get the joinery in place. And then once the rims are in, then we'll just finish filling in the rest of those dovetail joists.
I'll go high, Clayton.
All right, you started over here. Cheat it up into that pocket as soon as possible. There you go. You're good. Yep.
Can we hit the bottoms in to kind of open it up here?
Let's see if we can tap that brace down enough to get it in.
It's quite high.
Maybe give me this rope to pull. Hey Gabe, can you help me put a little more tension on it? I just don't have enough body mass.
Oh,
He's
and
gonna, when we're pulling, he'll tap maybe.
you looked around and you just were looking for body mass.
Look at
You're
that
like, "There's
big
one."
stud over there.
Whoa, you do pull hard though.
Okay, I'm started.
It's going.
What they're running into right now is we're trying to get a brace to lock into this pocket, but everything has to be pushed apart too far.
What if we plant this joist in here with the braces and peg it, screw it, fully attach it, and then so you've noticed we have this interesting brace detail where we have wind braces below our joist and wind braces above. It's been a number of years since we've done this type of timber framing, this style. The owner wanted large transom windows running across this space. Normally we would have another wind brace up here. This is a tall building. We're right on the water. It sees a lot of wind, so we wanted to do everything we can to rigidify the building. The wind braces don't do everything, but of course they're helpful. Ultimately, it is the SIP exterior sheathing that provides rigidity to the building. But certainly during construction, we want the building to stay plumb level and square while we're working on it. So in order to eliminate these wind braces, we added them back in down here. This is essentially a windowsill. We put this wind brace on the top side of the rim. That is a challenging detail to install. If you just have one wind brace, we're able to lower the rim joist down onto the wind brace below. Here we've got a wind brace on top. This wind brace has a 3-inch long tenon that needs to engage with the post. And it took us a little while to remember how we did it, but basically we install this rim joist and the 2 associated braces into the bent while it's lying on the ground. And we stand the whole mess up so that this piece can now advance directly into the post. So we have 1, 2, 3 total tenons engaging into the post. We have the 2 wind braces and the tenon on the rim. So it's a little bit of a dance getting all of that engaged. But once we remembered how we had figured it out years ago, things went much more smoothly.
It's okay, Gase. It's just been a long time since we've done this detail. Sometimes you have to remember.
I hate remembering. Somehow when I drew this detail a long time ago, before Zach took it over, Zach totally took it over.
Did he add the impossible braces?
I did that. And in my mind, I had figured out a solution. It was easy.
I was thinking it was like a test for the new guy. Like, let's wait and see if he realizes
Let's
this won't work.
see how Zach does with this.
When's he gonna notice it will never work?
Okay,
How did we just do this?
you just pushed.
Oh yeah.
It seems hard until you do it, and then you're like, oh, that was pretty easy.
Yeah.
What do we want to do differently with this one?
Well, I think we'll engage these guys first. So
Okay.
we'll get them up and just sort of
put it there.
Yeah, that might be helpful. And then just walk it in.
Okay.
Someone up there with a brace, someone down below. That way we can just bring it straight in. We shouldn't have to do any of that
Yeah.
pulling out.
Would it be helpful to screw a block down?
It probably would be.
Okay,
Yeah, right.
something
Then
to
it
catch
can't tip.
All right, do you think we need to wait for a bunch of people to swing this, or?
I think if we can get 3 people to help get it vertical, we'll be in good shape. So if you can let it come back, as it continues to come up, if you can try and get it seated against that block.
Do you want me to get ready to catch that joist?
Yeah, that might be good.
Yes, Gabe. Shelter goes vertical.
All set, Ethan?
Okay, I'm ready.
How's that feel? Too heavy?
I mean, I'm not, no.
Okay, let's get a brace under there. All right, can you get that top brace in? You in, Mitchell?
Yep.
I think we just need to draw the whole thing in. Should be able to just hit it over.
Yeah, keep hitting it, Zach. Yeah, you're good.
We need 2 J1s, I think, to go there, right?
Mitchell, what are you doing up there?
Right now, I'm driving our kiln-dried Doug First shims. I'm driving them into our dovetail joist. The shim is acting as our fastener and tightening up this joint here. As our pine timbers dry, these will stay the same and everything will slowly eventually get tighter and tighter.
Have you thought about this next one? It's gonna be a little bit different.
Maybe here what we want to do is swing the put the joist and braces into this thing, and then swing the post into that. This is an interesting frame. It is basically 5 bents, 10 feet on center to make a 40-foot building, but the 4th bent in falls in the middle of the basketball court. So there is no traditional tie beam running across at that location. We just have a post on the east and a post on the west. So when we go to raise, we will set those 2 posts and tie them in with rim purlins.
All right, go down a little, Gas. Yep.
Yeah, you're getting it, Gabe. Yeah, it's going. It's moving.
Wait till the real hammer guy gets here.
Yeah, Zach. It's moving a lot better now.
Make it fast now.
You guys are
I
hurting
think
my
you got
feelings.
it, Zach. Nice, very nice. Just beautiful. Okay, what do you think about a post now?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that's not gonna work.
Oh no, then. Why not?
Because this bent is right directly in our way.
Oh, that's a bad thing, yeah. Yeah, no, good point. What if we hook onto that and shift it?
Yeah.
If we shift that and we move a couple of joists, we could get this over on the other side and not struggle on ladders to do what we just did.
Send it out that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I will do that. There is no try. That looks pretty good.
We got to drop in a post on both ends here attached to this joist. That stands alone and goes all the way up to the truss. So this is a big open area here. You know, rather than standing up a bent, we just need to drop some posts into place, and then we can move on and do the last one the same way that we did the last two.
So we've done this. We've done this.
So those are 1, 2, 1, 2.
But we have not done these, nor those.
Any part of the build that was your favorite to watch?
My brain doesn't work that way. It was just fun to watch the whole thing.
Okay, fellas, coming up.
I just got exhausted standing around in the heat, but these guys are working all day long, you know, and don't seem to mind it. It's like a beehive. Nobody was giving or taking instructions, but everybody was busy the entire time.
It's kind of sliding a little bit too far that
Did it
way.
come back to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
We want about roughly 3 inches past this.
You look at those timber frames and just makes your heart melt. I mean, if you're sort of a wood person, you know, which I am, my wife is also. So that it was awesome to watch. It was just like putting together a Tinker Toy set with a set of plans, but it turns into a barn with these, you know, gorgeous elements in it and everything. They love what they do, and it's like a labor of love, yeah.
Oh, oh, oh. Keep a little pressure on it this way so it doesn't, it's very close to tipping, which it will at some point. We want to be in charge of it tipping.
Let's go that way a bit.
Okay. Hey Mitchell, would you mind getting up here on a ladder to land the top brace? All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Coming to you.
I can't see the end of that. Is that, it's in, right?
I think so. Started here.
They really come together very quickly. I think we're gonna have everything up except for the trusses by lunch. We ready to start setting these guys?
There we go, it's going. Started, are you started?
Gabe,
Yo,
what are you doing right now?
just getting started putting the spruce decking boards down.
So on the second floor, before we install the 2x8 tongue and groove decking, we check the bay for square because once the decking goes on, it just locks it in place and we can't move it. So what we typically do is measure from corner of post to corner of post in both directions, and then whichever length is longer, we'll hook up the come along to that one, and we'll slowly crank the come along in until both diagonals match perfectly. Then we'll install the decking. And once the decking's down, then we take the come along off and move on to the next bay. That's the general process.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm going around and pegging. If you notice that these pegs aren't going all the way through, because if we were gonna do that, we were gonna have a 12-inch peg. How we're doing them now is we're pegging blind. So we pre-drilled these to go in roughly 7 inches, and we're using a 7-inch peg that'll just die off in the middle here, but still act as that wind brace peg.
It's all really exciting. What's interesting is that we have a dear friend who's a professional handyman. He's built a barn that was actually bigger than this in the same way without a post and beam. He took a day off to come and watch this go up, and we've been hanging out with him all day. And my brother-in-law, who's an architect, but he was an artist before, and both of them are super impressed. They're just kind of watching it. So we're thrilled. We're really lucky we can put in a place like this, and it's really great.
We normally have a rafter plate that runs the length of the building and then a set of common rafters every 4 feet. On this build, we have a king post truss every 10 feet. So it's sort of a principal truss system. So every place that we have a bent, we have a king post truss living on top of it. All right, can you cheat that on at all? Yeah. That's good, Jesse. Can you pull it back just a little bit? You don't want to go too much though. All right, coming through.
You want to go through or over?
I think I'm gonna go through.
Okay. You go up a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, if you can just keep that outside of the building as I rotate. So Gabe, if you can keep it parallel, I want to stretch out, see what happens off the building. Hey Zach, I'm gonna pass by you. Just let it go by you, please. Zach, what do you need? You okay? Boom out. How does that look? It can come down? Coming down, Mitchell?
Yep, I'm on, I'm engaged.
Okay, started. It's got to shift back toward Mitchell.
All right, can you tap that post in, Clayton?
Looks like it's going to pull in just a little bit.
Okay, hold up.
Could use maybe just a little more weight.
How's that? Just brought it down a little bit.
That started. All right, there we go. I got it. Yeah, I think we can let go of that. Great. Awesome. These things are huge.
The bracing is going to be a little awkward because there isn't a horizontal element up there to brace to. So we're just going to screw onto the top cord of the truss and then down to the top of the adjacent posts. If you're enjoying what you're watching, or you'd like to learn more about timber framing, or build your own timber frame, or start a timber framing company, check out sheltercourses.com to find out how you can become a timber framer. In this build, we're using a king post truss behind me. This is my favorite truss. From an engineering standpoint, it's very simple to analyze. It behaves very predictably. It's very simple, but very, very rugged. So you have this bottom cord that runs all the way across the building that is in tension. You have the two top cords that are essentially acting as rafters that are in compression. You have struts that spring off of the king post itself. And of course, you have the king post in the middle of the truss. When you're talking about trusses, it's pretty easy to get your members to meet the stresses that will be imposed. It's very challenging to make the connections work. So the difference between a truss and a beam is that the beam withstands bending moments. It's getting rotated about its supports. In a truss, all of the elements in theory are only experiencing axial forces. So they're either being compressed purely along their length or stretched. So they're either in compression or tension. There is no bending. But all of the loads that build up axially in each of the elements, which can be huge, thousands of pounds or tens of thousands of pounds, need to be resolved at the joint. And getting two pieces of wood to join together and withstand that kind of loading can be challenging. We've used an interesting technique here where we terminate the top cord in a way that the grain is perpendicular to the top cord, so it is forcing its load into the bottom cord at an angle to the grain, and that gives us a lot of resistance to thrust of the top cord.
So what we'll do is get your end up and over so George can swing around. Okay, push to you a little. Yep. Get it centered right there. Yep. Oh, yeah. So what we need to do is push this up, but not too far. Yep, that started.
I wasn't ready. Can we do it again?
Please tell me you got that.
It's the wrong brace.
Like on the scissor lift.
I felt that.
You gotta get a shot of like on the scissor.
Can you buy this?
This is probably the 10th or so build that I've filmed with them, and I think this is probably the coolest single-day transformation that I've seen.
It was really cool just filming and watching these guys build the whole structure in less than like 9 hours.
And just how efficient everyone is. They know what they're supposed to be doing. They don't ask a lot of questions. They just get to it.
I work with a professional handyman. He put up a structure like this by himself, and his philosophy is do it once, do it right, you know. It costs more to do it, you know, with sort of quality materials and everything, but you save time fixing things and it lasts forever. I think that kind of attitude about home building is wise, and it's nice to see structures like this go up.
Okay, hooked on.
I think we got it.
Okay. Gaius, you forgot something.
So now that all of the trusses are set, we have this great sense of relief, and we're ready to start setting the purlins. This one does not have a full set of purlins. We just have a rim purlin along the eave on both sides of the building, and a ridge purlin with wind braces up at the peak, and the sips will span that 10-foot distance between the trusses.
So, 5 by, is that the last timber?
Yes. We're at the end of day 2 on our south port job. The entire timber frame is up. Every stick that we brought is in place, and it looks stunning. It is an absolutely beautiful timber frame. Very happy with how it turned out.
It's a 30 by 40 footprint, and it's quite tall, and the first 20 feet as you walk in are car park area, but it probably won't get used as a car park much. You know, we'll have some kayaks stored in there and probably a ping pong table there, and every once in a while we'll put a car in there. And then the other half of the first floor will be a wood shop for me. And then the back 20 feet is going to be recreation space. So there'll be a basketball hoop on the wall. It won't be a full basketball court, but you can shoot some baskets, darts, and maybe have a party if you want, and maybe we'll put a movie screen up on the wall, stuff like that. You know, it changes your life where you have the privilege to live in a space that really is beautiful. And I know the quality of the shelter's work, and it looks, when it's all up as just a timber frame, it looks like you just want to wrap it in screen or glass or something. Just put a shield on the top and just have it as a nice space.
How's that decking going right now?
How's the decking going?
How's the decking going?
It's fine, we're almost done. We just
Halfway
have
there.
a couple more pieces. He says halfway there. That's because there's only half the deck to do.
We're in that weird never land where we're transitioning from timber framing to SIP building, very tight site, so we're moving things 9 times to make space to do the thing that we need to do. But it's great because I'm really getting a lot of practice on the crane. I was thinking we would do 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
But if we do that, then we can build both the lowers and then build the upper.
Exactly.
What are you doing, Mitchell?
Right now, Ethan and I are just going around putting down the shoes, which will house the SIP panels, so we can nail off the bottoms of the SIPs to this, and I'll secure that to the sill plate.
We are snapping our line about 1 1/16 off of the timber frame. That will leave room for a 1/2 inch drywall and the inner skin of the panel. Before we put the shoe down, we're gonna put some expanding foam under it to seal it up, and then we'll attach it with 3 1/4 inch framing nails.
We had a little bit of extra time at the end of the day, so we just started picking through the SIP piles. We got things fairly organized, and we built one small section of wall panel. So tomorrow we're gonna have our hands full. It's a very tall building, and the site is very challenging. The ground just drops off immediately away from the foundation. So we will kick the day off by hanging drywall and starting to swing the walls. All right, we're on day 3 of the Southport build. It's 7:30 in the morning and it's already hot. Yesterday we built our first section of panel. Meanwhile, behind me, a second crew is hanging gypsum. That is our first wall to get SIPs on it. So as soon as that gypsum is installed, we have panel sections ready to go on. And that's gonna be our rhythm today. Basically hanging gypsum on a wall, swinging SIP sections in, screwing them to the timber frame, and then starting to detail the wall panels. So we'll be screwing the gypsum that's just loosely nailed to the timber frame into the SIP. We'll be foaming the SIP seams against the building and then moving on to the next section. So to try and make the crane as efficient as possible, we will put together a reasonable section of wall on the ground. That also minimizes the amount of ladder work. So if we can make 3 or 4 connections between the SIPs, which is time consuming to do on a ladder, we save some time, but it's also much easier on the human that's doing the work, right? To work on a horizontal surface rather than a vertical wall. So basically we pick out the panels that we need to build a section, we get them in the correct order, we bring them together. There is a spline, a loose floating piece that lives just behind the exterior skin that gets mechanically fastened to both of the adjacent panels. That's sort of the structural connection, so we will install that spline, nail it off. Then we want to air seal the seam. So back in the shop, the guys drilled a hole every 6 inches all the way up the panel. That drilled hole intersects a purpose-cut void in the panel that is there to accept foam all along the length of the seam. So we will inject expanding foam into that void every 6 inches all the way up the panel. The foam expands, and it's expanding beautifully today because it entrains moisture from the air to expand. So we're getting great expansion. It fills all of the voids and nooks and crannies that exist between the foam cores, so we get a good airtight seal, and it also glues the 2 foam cores together. The last thing we'll do is install all of the SIP screws. So again, we pre-drilled those in the SIP back at the shop based on the panel plan. So everywhere that a SIP crosses the timber frame, we like to install a fastener. Those run every 8 to 10 inches. We have 3/4 of the gypsum hung, and we're about to swing our second wall, and it's lunchtime. So we're looking for a 7-inch. No, we're not.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
Just flush with the thing, right?
Yeah, flush with the panel.
Just do it how we normally do?
Flush with the timber.
Clayton, you have to respect your elders.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Even when they're wrong.
Especially if they're your dad.
You want it flush with the drywall, right?
What a good idea. We all thought you were still being sarcastic.
Ooh, good idea, Dad.
Because I'm trying to space it out to where the drywall would be, right? All right, guys.
You have to start with, you have to say something like serious question if you're done being sarcastic.
You're hard down.
I think we want to slide it over flush with the post.
Oh.
This way, that way.
The wooden post?
Trust me.
Wooden post. The wheels are coming off.
Is it moving?
Yup! Yup!
What?
Yup!
What?
Yup!
More?
Yup! Yup!
It's not working, is it?
It's moving.
You're just yelling yup, so I'll keep doing this.
Maybe one more. Give me one more. One more. That's one more. Good. Actually, one more back if you can.
So after the SIP panels are in place and screwed off, we then start to attach the drywall back to the SIP. We try to get the drywall screwed off as soon as possible because if there's any expanding foam in the panels or we start foaming from the outside, it can leak behind those drywall and cause it to cure and then cause a bulge in the drywall. So as soon as we have all the drywall screwed, then we'll start on the foaming process on the outside.
What's it out there?
Just a little hard. Is he down there right now?
Are they?
You're right there. All right. Thanks, buddy.
We're really impressed with your crew, and especially the way that you got guys out here who are draftsmen and people who are office managers and engineers and CEO, and you're all getting your hands dirty putting this thing together. So it's really a labor of love, and it shows. It's just a thing of beauty here.
Absolutely amazing day. When you are running a construction crew, obviously you have this calculus in your mind for what needs to get done every day. Sometimes it's more fantasy than reality, but this was really what I had hoped we had accomplished today. There were times throughout the day when I thought there's no way we would make it. How's that look?
It looks pretty good.
Doesn't need to come back? I got room if you want it at the top.
No, no. Go ahead, Mary.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it. Oh, one more thing,
And
the
you
top, I
can't undo
guess.
it, so.
Oh, wait, Mary.
Oh, no.
Wait. You waited too long. It's too late now.
That was close.
That was really close. Would have ruined the whole house. Would have had to take it down and start over again.
It's the end of day 3 on the Southport job, and it was a hot day. But the Shelter Design Build crew put every single wall panel on the building. I'm blown away by what we accomplished today. Maybe a new company record, I'm not sure. I haven't really tallied up the square footage yet, but it's done and it's about 5 o'clock, so it was a really good day. Traditional timber framing uses wind braces to rigidify the building. As you can see behind me, a few of those wind braces, they run at a 45-degree angle from the vertical element to a horizontal element. That creates a triangle. Triangle is the most rigid shape. If you think about it, you can't deform a triangle without changing the lengths of one of the sides. That's difficult to do with wood. On the other hand, if you picture a rectangle, it's very easy to deform the rectangle without changing the lengths of the sides. So a rectangle is not a rigid structure. A triangle is a very rigid structure. The modern building code has very strict standards about story drift, the amount that the building can move when the wind blows, for instance, or if there's a seismic event. The modern interpretation of a wind brace in a timber frame does not provide the rigidity needed to meet that building code. So we're actually using the SIPs as a structural element to rigidify the building. It is the main wind force resisting system for the timber frame. And the particular element in the SIP is that 1/2-inch OSB. That is the sheathing that is used predominantly in stick-built buildings to provide that main wind force resisting system. It's a very well understood way to rigidify stick frame building. We're doing the same thing here. So this building has dozens and dozens of wind braces. We love the look of the wind brace. We love the way the wind brace keeps the building plumb, level, and square while we're building it. We also love the fact that if the SIPs ever fail, need to be replaced, the wind braces are there, keeping the building plumb, level, and square. The last thing we like about the wind braces is that, as I've said many times, often the worst stress that an individual joint sees is on raising day. When the crane hooks onto a bent and picks it up, you often will get localized great stresses on the mortise and tenon joint that it will never see again when the building is fully constructed and together. So the wind braces really help with those stresses on raising day. SIPs have been a part of the International Residential Code since around 2009. I'm not positive of that, so you might need to correct me on the video. So you can now build prescriptively using SIPs only, no timber frame needed. Those are good for up to 125 mile per hour wind, so it's a very rigid and robust way to build. We like the redundancy of having a timber frame inside the building to carry all of the gravity loads safely down to the foundation. Obviously, we love the beauty of the timber frame, but we also love to use the SIPs to rigidify the building. It provides rigidity and insulation, and it is a very quick way to enclose the timber frame and let all of the other things that need to happen get going. We delivered the roof this afternoon. That's unloaded at the front of the building. We'll be working on setting those roof panels tomorrow.
You're waiting for George to stop cream cheesing his bagel on your donut box.
There is some more donuts, bagels and stuff in here too.
One bagel. I'm gonna go for a donut next.
I don't mean to stand in your way, literally or
I need to
figuratively.
sync your audio with Gabe. Can you yell at Gabe really loud?
Gabe!
Stop, I can't take this.
All right, so we're on day 4 of the Southport build. Of course, we're gonna be on the roof today, and I thought we would start hanging SIPs in that back corner. Again, we're doing high work again today, so safety harnesses. So I've got Mitchell, Zach, and Clayton working on landing roof panels. I need some preppers.
I'm a prepper.
A lot of do-all ply, yeah. Looking at you, Gabe.
You should see the do-all ply I've been hoarding in my basement.
These are very long, unwieldy panels. They run horizontally. They're spanning 10 feet from king post truss to king post truss. So there is embedded lumber in the SIP, making them a little bit heavier, but they're also 22 feet long, so it will be a little bit awkward to manage those. Once we get the first SIP in place down at the eave of the roof in a nice straight line, theoretically, the next set of SIPs will just lay in place and using gravity settle down against the SIP below it. So in my mind, this is all gonna go very smoothly. Need anything? How about a donut?
Thank you.
So we're starting to get the building closed in. We still have a few fun projects. We have to install the timber frame stairs, and then we have that beam that will project out the front of the building. So Ethan, if you want to work on these two things, getting the stairs rigged so that when you're ready I can swing it in, and then lower priority but hardware for the steel beam.
Zach worked on designing the staircase. Pretty straightforward. It's very similar to the staircase that we built in the studio. That's all Douglas fir. Glulam. This is spruce glulam. These stringers have a pocket on the sides that the treads are let into, and then we screw through the glulam into the tread. And we also have this railing and newel post system here. Anywhere where you see a peg like this that's been sawn off flush, there's a fastener behind there. So typically a GRK fastener that connects this post back to the stringer.
Gabe, I'm going after the stairs.
Yeah, we might need some help, yeah, if you guys have a minute.
Talked about a staircase, and it might have been my idea to sort of have it lift up out of the way, but I didn't imagine this thing that they built there. That it kind of looks like they made it out of the same timbers that the rest of the structure is made out of. My brother-in-law was saying, gee, if we built that, we probably would have made it out of 2x10s and just something simple, but it's really kind of awesome to look at.
It's gonna come down right in here. Okay, so we're gonna have to pull it back quite a bit as he comes down.
Should I come down and help pull that?
Sure, yeah, it might be helpful. We'll need a few people to pull back. All right, that might be far enough for now, I'm not sure. How does that look, Rusty? Is it gonna need to come back more?
It's gotta go this way a little bit.
We'll drag it back a little.
Little back further. Still gotta go back a smidge. Okay, we're in on one side.
Okay.
Okay, pivot down. All right, I think we need to come up to it now.
We gotta put the washers in the right orientation there. All right, that gets us started pretty good. It's gotta shift back. There. Check it out, nice work. Looks good.
Safe to walk on?
It is, if you're ready to put footprints on it.
Might as well be mine.
Absolutely.
All right.
How's it feel?
It works.
Awesome. Awesome. Nice. Great.
Heck of a job. We just swung in the staircase. I was fortunate enough to be front runner of who cut that. I cut all the stringers, cut all the treads, cut the railing, made that fit. It's just really cool to see it go in and fit so well, and customer loved it, so it's like pumped, yeah.
We're here at the staircase. To lift it, we have 2 eye bolts that run all the way through the stringers, and then we have this spreader that connects to the 2 eye bolts. And then we hook up to our electric winch right here. And then the electric winch is attached to another eye bolt up at the top, going into the bottom core of the truss. When we lift it up, there's a couple different ways to do it. The machine has raise and lower buttons on it. We also have this remote right here, which is a corded remote. And then they also make a Bluetooth remote that goes with it as well. So there's a few different methods for raising and lowering it.
All right, so once we get the stairs hung, we can go yard.
Oh yeah.
On the roof panels.
Mm-hmm.
That's an expression. It's tough when I have to tell you that it's an expression.
Sorry.
It's an actual expression.
I'm sure it'll catch on by the end of the day.
Yep.
Here we come. You better watch out. So the goal of this steel beam is it will be able to slide out, and we'll hook up a chain fall to the end so that the customer can lift up some furniture and heavy items up to the 2nd floor for storage.
How's my height look, Ethan?
Go up. That's pretty good. You gotta swing that way. Yeah. So you want us,
I guess, if you could take some weight.
Yeah, we can pull down on it.
Once we get to the strap, I can just slide the strap back.
Okay.
No, like.
Yeah. Yeah, the back one's rolling, okay. All right, yeah, that should be good. So right now we're working on installing these stop blocks right here that just allow the beam to slide out but not slide too far that it comes off of the trolley. So those are just a safety so the beam will stop. And so the next step is to test this a little bit, hook up the chain fall to the end, and then we should be all set with this one.
That's the official go up with the crane motion.
So we're at the end of day 4 on our Southport job, and I'm surprised. I did not think we were going to be done today. In all honesty, just a testament to the shelter design build crew, the diversity of work that we accomplished today, from swinging roof sips to installing the steel beam to installing the hinges and the electric motor and so on. Getting it all done safely and quickly was just amazing. I really did not imagine that we would get done today, and here we are.
A year and a half of preparation and 3 days of work, and here we have a we have a new barn.
So super happy about the progress, but I'm also just thrilled about this barn. It is absolutely stunning when you walk in and look up. This area in particular is just beautiful. Like I always say, I hope that this timber frame brings the owners years of joy, and they're already talking about how excited they are at just thinking about the longevity of the building and inviting the community in. This is a very tight-knit little community down here to use this place, and that makes me absolutely ecstatic. The more people get to see it and enjoy it, just explains why we do this job. So I'm very happy to hear that.
Everybody has been super polite, accommodating, just really wonderful to work with. So it's been a great experience. I'm sorry you're leaving. I wish we had something else for you to do. We could keep you busy for a few more
We'll
weeks.
be back, Tom. We'll be back.
Yeah.
Got a little more to do. Our job is done here for now, but we'll be back in a couple of months to add some covered entries to the outside of the building. Make sure to subscribe and enable notifications for when we revisit a final time for a finished tour of the barn.